Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Diamond Judith Sears.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be with you today. It looks like a lot of you have gone to dinner, and that's okay. I am here because I'm supposed to speak about anti-aging, so guess what? They asked somebody 100 to do it. That just makes sense, doesn't it? So, thank you. So, let's see. You know what? This is the second time I've given this talk, and I had to tell them. I have TVs in my house, you guys, that are 13 years old, and I've never turned them on because I don't know how to use the clicker. So, this clicker thing, I got really behind on the last time. I'll try to do better this time. So, when I was growing up, lest I sound like I came over with Brigham with the pioneers, we didn't have Google, and we didn't have social media. So when we wanted to know what it was like to get old and get advice about aging, we asked somebody old. And that just made sense to us. And the reason is they had some life experience. Further, I'm not sure that you can get all that much truth anymore on Google and social media. I think it's better to ask your elders some questions every once in a while about what it's like, because they've had some experiences, they've made some mistakes, and they've had some successes. And thirdly, I think that people are pretty aware that they're not making good health choices, but they don't know how to make the right ones. So I'm going to try to make truth really simple for you today. My belief is, if it's true, you ought to be able to, it ought to feel right here, and you ought to be able to spit it out and share it with somebody else. And that's mostly our goal, isn't it, to share with others. So you have organs, systems, and processes in the body. We're going to talk about one system called the endocrine system that consists of a couple organs and a handful of glands. And most of the major health challenges we struggle with nowadays come from that system being out of balance. 10 million people a year die of cancer, twice that of heart disease, 50 million of Alzheimer's, which is nicknamed type 3 diabetes. 500 million of us have diabetes. Less lethal, but pretty important to men. 40% of men over 45 are low on testosterone. I suspect they care more about that than they do about a few wrinkles. 10% of women struggle with infertility and menstrual irregularities. All of these problems and many more, we could make a long list, unfortunately, all stem from the same thing, insulin out of balance, called insulin resistance. It just means how well your body uptakes and uses sugar. So one of the things I recommend to balance yourself is something called intermittent fasting. I've been practicing it for years. It's a great habit. It helps balance blood sugar. It helps balance, get rid of extra fat. And it's just a great program. Well, I was at the bank the other day, and the teller told me that she was just learning to intermittent fast, and she wasn't being very successful. You go about 16 hours without, is that me making that noise? Am I too close? You go about 16 hours without eating, and she wasn't being very successful. So I asked her if she'd tried doTERRA's fiber. The fiber is the perfect choice because it's only 25 calories, and when you're going to cheat on a fast, you can go up to 50 calories. So it's the perfect choice. It tastes good. It's super easy to stir into water, so she doesn't need a blender at work or anything like that. Further, it's got 6 grams of soluble and 6 grams of insoluble fiber, which means it slows down the uptake of sugar and helps regulate the blood sugar levels. The next habit I suggest you start is protein. Protein shakes in the morning are absolutely fabulous. I call them green smoothies. I like to throw in a handful of greens and some water or some almond milk. Let's just face it. If you have a choice and you're hungry, you're going to grab pretend food, right? If it's on the counter and it's pretzels, chips, cookies, you're going to grab it. So if you start this in the morning, even if you're not going to drink it for several hours, then when you're hungry, it's already there. And you don't have to do any mental work to make it, and you won't grab the not-so-healthy food on the counter. So any kind of protein of doTERRAs you want to use, they're all whole food, they're all awesome. They all have 23 grams of protein in them. As we age, we need more protein, so feel free to double that if you need to. Then you're going to add a scoop of greens. Oh, I got to go back to protein. Beta-glucans. I like vegan protein best because it has beta-glucans in it because of the oats. You heard Dr. Hill talk about yesterday beta-glucans. I've been teaching for 40 years. I've been seeing clients for 40 years as an iridologist, and I have found that beta-glucans do an incredible amount of things, not just improve the immune system. In this particular conversation, though, I want to tell you that they balance blood sugar, they balance regulatory hormones, they balance your metabolism. If you like to lose a little weight, they're a great choice. And they balance any kind of metabolic disorder that's going on. Then throw in some extra greens with a scoop of greens. They taste delicious. And a scoop of MCT oil. I like coconut oil. Without good fats, you get fat. So all the things you've heard about fat being bad for you are not true. You need fat. Fat feeds you, not your fat. Also, it really has no effect at all on insulin levels, so it's a fabulous choice. Further, I like to think that good fat is part of Isaiah's wise counsel to let your soul delight in fatness. Okay, you are made up of trillions of cells. Every 7 years, those cells turn over. So right this minute, you are in the business of making a new you. You can decide if you're going to be what you're going to be made out of in 7 years, what your food choices are, what your supplement choices are. Some cells turn over daily, some turn over weekly, and some take longer. But in 7 years, there's going to be a new you. And you get to decide if you're going to be wrinkly or have arthritis or joint pain or whatever. You get to do a better job with your food choices. So inside of each of those cells, you can see that there's a mitochondria of the cell. The mitochondria is the energy factory. Some cells have just a few mitochondria. Some cells have hundreds in just one cell. When those cells turn over, I'm going to give you just a tiny biology lesson. So right back here, above your kidneys, you have what's called the adrenal glands. They're about the size of a walnut, and they manufacture hormones. They balance the blood pressure. They balance blood sugar. They burn fat. They burn protein. They react to stressors in the body, any kind of injury or things like that. And they come, something your high school biology teacher might not have taught you. The mitochondria of the cell comes from only your female side. They're only egg, not egg and sperm. So if your mother was stressed during pregnancy, if she was super sick, if she had a drug or alcohol problem, if she was the main breadwinner, something was going wrong with your mama, you were born tired. Your adrenals were exhausted right from the beginning. The good news is you can repair it. We have tools to do that. When I started doTERRA, I started with only repairing my adrenals. So this is adrenal fat. This is thyroid fat. Doesn't matter where you're packing your heat. Don't care. Start with your adrenals. Your adrenals are the boss of the endocrine system. That's what we're talking about as a system. They're like dominoes. When you get those to straighten up and fly right, everything else will fly right. So I lost 18 pounds from thyroid weight, by the way, but it's because I spent 1 year on just the project of my adrenals. Okay, my favorite tool to repair the adrenals, besides oils, you'll need a handful of oils for that, but you've got apps and books on that, is Mito2 Max. Mito2 Max is made with a combination of adaptogenic herbs and amino acids. It's incredible to do what you need it to do. Adaptogenic herbs, some of them are meant to stimulate, and some of them are meant to calm. Calm and control the amount of cortisol in your bloodstream. And some people may notice, actually, that they're tired all day, and they pay $100 for a nap in the middle of the afternoon. And then they come home and they feed the kids and they start the laundry, and then what happens? They get a second wind. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That is your adrenals. That's your cortisol being out of balance. You're making it at the wrong time of day. You should feel the most energy and the best, just like to slay the day at 8 a.m. If that's not happening for you, we've got some things to fix with the adrenal glands. And the adaptogenic herbs will do it. That's what's beautiful about ashwagandha. That's what's in here. It's very calming to the nervous system. It's great for anxiety. It's great for insomnia. I like to take this particular supplement with my Lifelong Vitality Pack. I take one in the morning and then one with my afternoon dose with the LLV. If you notice, or you think already before you even start, that you're extremely adrenally exhausted, then you might find that rather than give you energy and focus from Mito 2 Max, you might get more tired. If that's happening to you, two things. One is it will dissipate in about 2 weeks, so give it some time. But just start taking it at night before you go to bed because it'll help you sleep, okay? Next is Yarrow Palm Cellular Beauty Capsules. I love this product. This product is fabulous for all the obvious reasons. I'm sure you've had lots of lectures today on the skin. What I want to tell you most is 80% of what's happening out here is happening in here. So take care of the inside. Good supplements, good food, hydrating, taking care of inflammatory response will help your skin stay healthy and looking good well into your old age. What I want you to pay most attention to in terms of our blood sugar conversation, though, is notice there's yarrow palm oil, pomegranate oil, and grapeseed oil in here, and all of them balance blood sugar levels. It's a fabulous product. So take 2 first thing in the morning with your LLV dose. Okay, last one is Serenity. Serenity is an incredible product for helping you sleep. When your blood sugar is out of balance, you can be irritable, you can gain weight, you can not be able to sleep very well, you can be anxious, you can be grumpy. There's all these things that happen when our blood sugar is out of balance. So catching up on your sleep is a great choice with Serenity. I also recommend, if you've got a hamster on the wheel, like I do, add a couple Copaiba soft gels, and that'll help you catch up in no time. In closing, I want to say, I was going to have a demonstration or have a volunteer, but we don't have time. So I'm just going to pull out here. I've got in my envelope a $5 and a $10 bill. If you can pick one, which one would you pick? The 10. Nobody's dumb out there, right? You'd pick the $10 bill. Anybody would, except for if you knew in the envelope I have a $100 bill. There are people right now in your lives. You guys, my dad died of Alzheimer's. My aunt just got diagnosed 10 days ago with Alzheimer's. There are people living $5 and $10 lives because they don't know what you know. They want a $100 life, but you got to open your mouth and tell them about it. Thank you so much. Whoops.